So this is what I woke up to this morning, and I am actually repulsed. I'm so angry, I am physically shaking. But don't get me wrong, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised one bit, because we know what a vile fascist this disgusting, slimy man is. But this is a convicted war criminal. He literally has a warrant out for his arrest, and Trump is parading him in front of the whole of America. It's disgusting. And listen, it wouldn't even be so bad if his war crimes weren't literally against children, for raping, torturing, and killing children. And here's the thing that really pisses me off. So the UK and America have decided that they will class Hamas as a terrorist organisation. But here's the thing, not once has Hamas done anything off of their land. Every single assault that they have ever been involved with has been on Palestinian soil. So actually, it's nothing to do with the international community. The IOF have paraded themselves in women's underwear. They have shown themselves stealing toys. They have shown themselves abusing and torturing adults and children. They have publicized this online. And you're telling me that the IOF crimes are not worse than Hamas? Hamas are freedom fighters who stand there and fight for the freedom and liberation of Palestinians. The IOF are repulsive Nazi terrorists who need to be stopped. At what point is this acceptable? And I tell you what, when bombs start dropping on America, don't be calling them terrorist attacks, because there will be no terrorist attacks. When America gets blown apart, it won't be a terrorist attack. It will literally be self-defense for America getting involved in the Middle East and destroying millions of people's lives. I'm so sick of it. Both of these men need to be gone. It's absolutely repulsive. Stop classing Hamas as terrorists and start showing the world who the real terrorists are, the IOF and the whole Israeli establishment.
Today's date is Thursday, February the 13th, 2025. My name's Christopher James. It's my honor and it's my pleasure, well, not so much a pleasure, but it's my duty to be before my fellow man and woman here this evening, as I do every Thursday night at 8 p.m., to share in real time with massive corruption, death and destruction that's going on, but more importantly, the solution. The solution is always at that public courthouse. We don't have the numbers. This is the constant problem, as I've always said from day one. Ignorance is the enemy, right? And all we're seeing is this continue. That's why I play that opening clip there, okay? The American people, I mean, I'm not just going to blame the American people. It's all of us in every single country. We're a joke, okay? We don't know who the hell we are. We don't know the simplicity of holding these people accountable, and it's just a numbers game. Instead, everyone gets caught up on the theater, and they lay one thing out after another every single week to keep the sheep all disorientated of everything that's going on, right? That has to stop. Okay, I don't know what it's going to take to do it, right? But all I can say, I'm locked and loaded, right? If these pricks try and come into our country, Canada, they're going to be met with a barrel of guns from every single man and woman that has one, I guarantee you, okay? This whole nonsense of Canada being the 51st state is a joke, okay? The arrogance and the hubris of this corrupt maggot, Donald Trump, is off the charts. And the American people just sit here and they do nothing. Right? All the blood is on all of our hands for what's gone on in Gaza. And the continual death and destruction that's happening in all of our countries from the COVID-19 was a lie. Right? Oh, but let's forget about that, because we've all got our little pissy lives to be going back and forth and traveling on the roads again. And they're not really bothering us right now, so we'll just let it go. Meanwhile, everyone that's been injected are still dying. Okay? There's still enormous death and destruction that's occurring right now in this world. Right? And I have very little faith in mankind. I really do, to be honest. Why do I keep doing it? Well, I sometimes question myself, you know. Amazing Polly, she's an incredible woman, another Canadian up here. I never follow her, and then there was a clip that came up last week or on the weekend or something. I just happened to see a clip of, and she'd walked away from all of this for several months. She goes on to tell everybody about the attacks her and her family were under, right, for bringing truth in that forward. Same has happened at my end, right? People do not understand, for those of us that walk out into the light like this, the bullshit that we got to deal with every single day, okay? It's constant. It's a constant level, a sea of ignorance, a tidal wave, a tsunami that's continually washing over my emails, right? There are some great people that are out there in this world that are trying to make a difference. God bless each and every one of you. And I've got a great base here. I wish to God we had a few million people. You think I'd be up to at least 100,000 people by now, but it doesn't happen because I'm severely shadow banned. Okay? Nothing of my stuff can get put up on TikTok now. It gets pulled down. X, it gets pulled down right away. So it is what it is. We have to do a Hail Mary every week here, and hopefully someone is going to see this that's going to be able to help provide a vehicle to moving forward. I've reached out to Stu Peters multiple times to get on his show. I think he's doing incredible work. Stu doesn't have the solution, right? I go on SGT report or whatever. Sean's out in la land with Trump or whatever. Like I said, I've lost so much respect for so many of these people with their platforms, right? It's not a business model. It's not something to be entertaining everybody with all your videos and everything every week. We have genocide that's occurring right now in this world. And it's not going to get itself solved by us looking at all this other crap that's going on, from Bitcoin to financials to all these various different things. That's why I'm drilling down so people can understand the trouble that we are all in. And again, tonight I'm going to drill down on that. Okay? The Israel-United States relationship right now is the biggest terrorist group in the world, and the entire world sees this. And when are the American people going to finally wake up and take their country back? That's the big question. And that also goes for us too in this country, in Canada, UK, Britain, France, everybody. But you've got to have that truth in your heart, your mind, and soul. You have to know who you are. You have to understand what the law is. You have to understand that all these people acting in these roles, not a damn thing that they put pen to paper, not a damn thing that they say to us. These maggots that wear the black robes are all corrupt to the core. Each and every one of them deserve nothing less than a grand jury, and when they're found guilty, walk them out and hang them on the front lawn of that courthouse. It's time that this bar was annihilated and wiped off the face of this earth. It is riddled with massive corruption and treason that's occurring in every country. They're the ones that are preventing the genocide from coming out into the light, right? You see what they've done with all these doctors. They haven't protected anybody leading up to this point. Anyways, that's my ramble that I'm going on here. I want to give a huge thanks again out for everyone for the few people that do donate to me. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I will email you. I'm sorry. It's just been, it's a nightmare at my end. Every bloody week it seems it's just getting worse and worse. And I want to thank everybody who also continues to send emails. This is evidence for Larry Brock the Croc as he's known. Guy's another piece of you-know-what. And Mark Hammond, the little maggot that acts as Minister for Health Canada here, okay? These people are all corrupt to the core. Every single one of them is involved in preventing the truth from the genocide that's occurring coming out into the light. Mark Holland's got, and Larry have got over 400 emails now, people, right? It's unacceptable. If you do get this, please go to my website on the opening page. I can just show you here again. Just go down to the top of it here. Scroll down and just grab the PDF. Grab the PDF right here as you scroll down. That's my Emergency 3 Babe Men. I just did a great interview with them. I uploaded on the weekend. The must download. This is the one for Notice for Trespass for Larry, the Brock family. You simply click on that. The PDF comes up. His email address is there. You just attach it to the email. You demand Larry that he acts. And he brings this truth out into the light. Larry is a maggot. He's also a part of this bar society or whatever. He's not going to get anything done within the society. It's all theater that's going on. And I guess he says, well, they prorogue Parliament right now in Canada here, which is a shit show, right? Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and where's the RCMP and all this stuff, right? Nowhere to be seen. Where's the OPP? Nowhere to be seen, right? All of these service corporations are corrupt to the core. The heads of all these organizations all need to roll, right? But hey, like I say, everyone's a little caught up in their little word. They don't want to worry about having to pay their mortgage or whatever. They don't want to lose their job for sticking their neck out on the line. Mankind has lost his way for what it means to be a man, to stand up for all that is true and right in this world. Yes, there's a million of us around this world that are willing to put our lives on the line for this, but we are divided up right around this country, right? And right around this world. We need to find a way to have these mass gatherings like we see going on over in Europe. Anyways, thank you very much for all your help. I truly, truly appreciate it. I just want to show everybody as well this next one. I just mentioned quickly here, Robbie Cressman. He's got a event this Saturday, February the 15th at 7 p.m. The cost is $22 per person. It's a lecture on Campex and the Secrets Not Discussed, drilling down on the JFK assassination and many other things as well. So if you're interested in that information, Robbie's an incredible man to go out and listen to. That's this Saturday. You can email him at opreedyline@protonmail.com and reserve your seat. Okay, I wish Robbie nothing but absolute success with that. I also want to let everyone know that I've got up on let me just kill that. I've also got up on line I've put up is the the Inverti community that I talked about. I showed the clip on it there last week. That's out in Paraguay. I would love to get out there and check that place out. Anyways, it's up now on my platforms, BitChute and Rumble. It'll go up onto Brighteon later on. It's a great little short video. Wonderful people. If you're interested and you're looking for a place to move to, a place that's away from everyone and everything, with a complete off-grid setup that's there. They've got over 3,000 acres. It's an incredible community that they're creating. Wonderful, wonderful people. Please watch that video. I'm sure you will enjoy it. It's absolutely incredible. Now, I'm going to start the top of the broadcast here with, let me just show these quick things as well, too. If you're looking for a masterpiece, I'll just blow through these quickly here. If you're looking for a masterpiece, please go to bit, excuse me, .ly, AWC masterpiece, and you can pick up the link from there to, let me just show you the links here quickly. I should really do a little short clip at the top here that I always play. Anyways, all the evidence for COVID-19, you need to go to bit.ly, AWC evidence, download it, have hard copies of that, and share that with your fellow man or woman. Anyone looking for colloidal silver, you can reach me at colloidalchris@outlook.com. Masterpiece, bit.ly, AWC masterpiece. That's if you're outside of Canada. If you're inside of Canada, contact me, and I'll do what I can to get you some product. The relax saunas, which I will just show everyone here in a second, they're absolutely incredible. I've nailed them down on a price of $25.50. That's Canadian, all taxes and shipping and duty included to your door. And if you do get any taxation or any type of brokerage fees from UPS that's sending it over, they will pay for that for you. Okay, Phil's done that a couple of times already this week for people, so that's fantastic. And then also, last but not least, flfe.net, the silver sauna is $20.50 if you're looking for something in that frame of mind. So let me just quickly show here. Sorry. You can also go to, which I've been sharing with everybody, is FLFE, incredible technology. I've had it for over a year now on my house. It's wonderful. Check it out, flfe.net. The links are always down below in my description of my videos. Please click on them and help support everything that I'm doing as well. And there was the Relax Sauna link that I showed everybody earlier, right? You're looking at the two products. You've got the Black Pro unit, and then you've got the Silver unit. Both of these units are absolutely incredible. See, they're selling it for $2,300 US. Right now, I've got a coupon as well for the American people. You can use AWC 300. That'll take $300 off of that US, so you're down to $2,000, or $300 off down to $1,400 US for the silver unit. But in Canada, we're the only ones that have that offer that I've been able to bring. So it's very important that you understand, know, and learn that. Okay, good. I've covered all that stuff. We'll get that out of the way. Now I got to get to a part that's not too happy. For those of you that were asking me last week, what had happened with Dr. Robert Young. Dr. Robert Young, I've had him on the broadcast many times. He's he's shown nothing but kindness and enormous love and courage for this world. And I'm truly, truly, I've told everyone what was going to happen. I tried to work with Robert back in May. I told him, you've got to challenge jurisdiction, right? I was going to set him up with Carl Lentz, United States, who's a real champ out there, but he wouldn't listen to me. He felt that he had a good team with his lawyers, one of them being a past judge or whatever. They're all effing maggots, every single one of them. Well, for those of you that don't know, what happened this week is that Robert Young is now in jail. And I don't know how long he's going to be there. I think they were going for 6 years. Let me kill this here. Whoops. Stupid thing. Let me take that back. They're looking for 6 years. So it goes, founder of PH Miracle Diet found guilty of elder abuse and treating patients without a license. So first and foremost, he hasn't abused anybody that's an elder. Okay, you have to understand this is the third time that they've gone after Robert Young. Third time's the charm in the world, as they say. And now they finally got him locked away. The last time it was for 5 months, whatever. He worked out a plea deal or whatever. But again, he's dug his own hole because he's been using lawyers all the way along. And I've been told he's got some great legal team or lawyer team or lawful team or something that's working for him now. I'm not too impressed from the information that I've heard, because they talked about, they're going to be doing all these motions, and then the Brady Act, and all this other crap. There was no one that came forward into that courtroom that was moving a claim in court against Robert Young. That's what I tried to explain to him, right? There's people on the other side. It says the state of California. Who's this man or woman called the state of California? Every man or woman has a right to face their accuser, but first and foremost, where's the verified claim? Who is moving that court? Well, it's people that are acting for a service corporation called California. They're maggots. They're called lawyers. And they've got their little end run that they've got a little maggot wearing the black robe as well. All of these people, from what I've heard from that they're bearing witness to, Robert Young never got a chance to face his accuser. He never got to ask anybody any questions. So they've clearly put him away by design, because this is how this system works. I wish he had worked with me back in May, because I truly believe that the outcome would have been a lot different. Now he's made it incredibly hard for himself. And anyone that's playing in the legal sandbox is going to get nowhere, okay? It's really a shame. You know, you see someone like Hunter Biden, right, with that maggots done, right? And so many other people that are corrupt. They're causing enormous wrong and harm and death and destruction. And here's a man that's not caused any death or destruction against any man or woman, and now he's been locked up for 6 years, okay? It's absolutely disgusting. So please say a prayer for Robert, okay? Like I said, I tried with all my heart to try and help him out, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, as they say, okay? Because I never want people to forget, you know, what's going on here, right? Right now in our world, this is the face of evil, and don't you forget it for a second, okay? That is the face of evil. This guy is bought and paid for, and people need to wake up and understand what the hell is going on. Let me play a video here for you, right? Because just show you the level of the magnitude. He wants to buy, he wants to own Gaza. He's not allowing the inherent right for the people to come back into Gaza. Listen to this, okay? It's absolutely sickening. And this young man, I love him. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of good videos up on TikTok.
Trump just announced that the 1.9 million Palestinians in Gaza that he plans to ethnically cleanse with the help of Israel will not have the right of return.
In the meantime, I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians
no
have the
big
right
money
to return?
spent. No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them. Because if they have to return now, it'll be years before you could ever. It's not habitable.
He said it as clear as day. No, they won't have the right of return. And do you want to know why it's uninhabitable? Because Israel spent the last 15 months carpet bombing Gaza.
Yep, carpet bombing Gaza. You know why else they want to do that? Because there's thousands of women and children and men that are buried. People, not part of the military, not part of this bullshit Hamas that they've been rolling out, that are dead, lying there rotting underneath the rubble. And they don't want people to see that. Remember 9/11? What happened with 9/11? Oh, they fenced it all up, and then they let trucks go in there, and all the steel got sent over to China so that nobody could look or analyze and see the steel. Same thing they did with the Maui fires, right? This is what's going on, people, right? You need to understand. And Donald Trump has shit all over the good people that are in America right now. And those people that can hear me that are in America, you better find a way to get off your ass and go after this man. Get him. Okay, get these people, round them all up and bring them into a court, because there are millions of people in the United States that have the evidence against them, and you need to restore your country. You need to restore the rule of law, as all of us do. That's why the common law courts are so important. Okay, let's continue on this, because, you know, I want people to understand the cycle that they've got, okay? He's absolutely a psychopath, right? He's committed to buying and owning Gaza. Never forget that.
Committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices, but we're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back. There's nothing to move back into. The place is a demolition site. It'll be, the remainder will be demolished. Everything's demolished. I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're very unsafe. But we'll make it into a very good site for future
development, right? This is what this maggot talks about all the time, right? Complete disregard. I'll tell you what, and I heard the best response to all of this as well. Round up all the Jews in Israel and throw them the hell out of Israel and make them go to some other country and let the Palestinian people build their country back up, okay? How would the Jewish people like that? If they were all of a size, they were carpet bombed, their friends and family are all dead lying on the streets or whatever. They're not military. Just so that the Palestinian people could take their land back if they did that, right? How far would that go? That wouldn't go far at all. You would have the media worldwide. The Jews would be crying up a storm, just like the bullshit with the Holocaust, right? They'd be screaming bloody murder. Oh, the poor Jews, everything that's gone on with us. And yet, look at the genocide, what they're doing. right? Donald Trump. Oh, and what Donald Trump did today, let me just keep going with this little maggot, because he just makes me sick. He just makes me sick, right? Never forget, we had this maggot that was on Parliament, or at the Capitol with him, right? Netanyahu, right? These two guys are war criminals. Never forget that. Look at him. Look at that smug little face on Netanyahu. That man deserves a bullet's too good for him. He deserves a rope around his neck. You are looking at the biggest criminals in the world right now. And the American people better take hold and see some justice that's done here, okay? Because this is not going to end well. Because what the mainstream media has been doing for a very long time is they've always been using the auspice that Iran is this really bad country, and Iran is always looking to attack Israel. Meanwhile, Israel's the one that's attacking and bombing and killing everybody in the Middle East, okay? Their day of reckoning is coming. I hope the IDF is wiped off the face of the earth, along with the Mossad and the CIA, all of them, okay? They all need to be removed, as JFK was trying to do back in the day until they killed him. But I want people to see this because it's very, very important. Very, very important. The storyline that they do, okay? They set up, let me just play this first here. They set up the media, right? Because the media is all Jewish controlled and owned, right? By all the central bankers, right? So they get their placing in place, and what they do is they present a narrative. Oh, Donald Trump, Iran is going to possibly assassinate you. They're going to kill you or whatever. This is the storyline that they drag up, right? Always pushing the blame that it's Iran that's doing the things wrong. Just like Hamas. Hamas didn't attack anybody. Be like the United States military. If all of a sudden the United States was invaded by China or somebody, and people were dying everywhere, in the military, the Patriots, all these groups militias got together and they fought back and took care of it. Oh, would all the militias now be branded as terrorists? No, they're people that are fighting for their people on their land. Hamas never left their territory. That has always been their land, the people there. They have every right to defend themselves. Okay? But this narrative that they roll, always poor Israel. Israel's going to be the buffoon. Well, we're the buffoons for allowing this stuff to happen. But look at how they word this, right? Trump talks about, if anything happens to me, oh, Iran's going to be obliterated. See, they're always setting the stage. Listen to this maggot.
And why say that you're unhappy to sign it if it's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani?
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left.
What a prick, right? That's right. So a couple of people, or a few people, if they were to assassinate you, you're going to obliterate Iran. You're going to wipe out millions of people in that country. Because you got killed, Trump. Let me tell you, the best thing that could happen to this world is these people are taken out that are involved in all of this, okay? The United States is corrupt from top to bottom. The House, the Senate, and the White House, right? It's infested, okay, with these maggots that have dual citizenships. The United States is bought and owned and controlled, all right? Here's what just happened. Let me just share this with you, all right? For those of you who don't understand, okay? What did Trump do as soon as he got in, right? Before he got in, he gets $200 million from Adelson, right? All this Jewish money comes flowing into his coffers, right? His business and everything is all flourishing again because they pulled him out of bankruptcy, right? Never forget that. The central bankers pulled him out of bankruptcy in the 80s. He was finished. This is how he pays them all back. This is how he owes everybody, right? He's a maggot of epic proportions. So just look at this, right? First thing he does, he's in president for a few weeks. Trump administration backs big arms sales to Israel defying Congress. Oh, let's look down a bit here, right? $7.4 billion, right? I don't care if it's Democratic or Republican lawmakers. They're not lawmakers. They're all corrupt maggots, right? The House needs to be cleaned right out, and you need to start with the head of the snake, which is Trump, and all of his appointees that he's got around him, right? Tulsi Gabbard, I really like her. I don't quite understand how that's going to fix out with her. And they talk about this Kash Patel or whatever, you know, what he's supposed to be doing first day on once he becomes in there as FBI. But don't forget about JFK or RFK, right? He ain't going to do shit. They're going to continue pushing the mRNA vaccine schedules. This is what's going on. I'm going to drill down what's happening in Toronto here shortly after. But that just goes to show you, $7.4 billion he's just given to Israel. Meanwhile, there's millions of people in the United States that are homeless, that are on the streets, that are dying. I don't see him giving billions of dollars to the recent fire in California. I don't see him giving billions of dollars to the recent disaster, the floods and that happened in North Carolina, right? You got to wake up. I don't know what it's going to take for the American people to pull their heads out of the you-know-what, but we're all in trouble here, no matter how we look at it, okay? Let me just keep going on, because the reason why, and that maggot that just stands there, I'm going to show you something. This is disturbing, right? I'm going to play it. I'm going to give you a heads up. You know, you might not like what you're going to see here, but it's about time you saw that. And I'm so glad that somebody did load this up, because this is the horrific actions that are occurring against the Palestinian people, the women and the children, okay? And Donald Trump is all part of that, okay? Never forget that. The Congress, everybody that's gone along with giving this money to them long before Trump got in there, they are all bought and paid for. This is disturbing, people. This is a child being shot, walking in Gaza.
Watch. After you heard the screams of the little child, this is a little child from the West Bank shot by an IUF sniper. Yes, an Israeli occupation thief, Zionist sniper shot a child just sitting, doing nothing in his chest, and the child is in very critical conditions. The fate of the child is still unknown. Just one question. What is the crime of this little kid? What was his crime? The excuse of even throwing a rock, which is his right defending his land, it's not even there. He's just standing there, doing nothing, shot in the chest.
And what would the American people do, right? If children and women and children are being shot as they're walking down the street in their counties. Oh, would the American people just sit back and say, oh, well, it is what it is? No. The American people would get their guns, they would hunt down these people who have done these dastardly, these horrific deeds, and they would kill them. And we have every right to kill all these people that are involved in this, okay? This is a war, people, and it's not going to get fixed by, me being out here doing these little videos for everybody or this other kumbaya crap that people are thinking, oh, something's happening and changing now in the world. It is a war, and the only thing that this evil understands is a barrel of a gun, right? Remember that, okay? Because if you don't, you're in for a really, really serious hard awakening right now, hard reckoning that's coming down. Let's keep going with this. So you can see what's going on here, because it's absolutely disgusting. These are the war crimes. Just look at the emancipation of these people that were kept, that were Palestinians, and then you see the Israeli hostages that were there, and then Trump also laying out there this week, as everyone's heard, oh, they've got till noon on Saturday to do something, or hell's going to come down on them. Excuse me? Hell's already come down on the Palestinian people, right? Hamas is another creation, just like ISIS was created by the CIA, right? It's a creation to ferment this entire narrative of this false conflict that exists. The conflict that exists is that Israel has been a terrorist organization, the people, the military, and committing genocide for 35, 40 years now against the Palestinian people. Finally, the world is waking up, but where is the people around the world coming to their help? Where is this great man, Russian, Vladimir Putin? Where is this Chinese dictator, right? Or the Chinese guy with all these great big militaries? Where's Iran? Where are they? Why are they not coming to the aid and landing on the beaches in Gaza and taking this army, this IDF out? That's what, it's not like you're going to kill anybody, right? They've already destroyed everything there. You might as well go in there and clean house. That's what's required in our world right now. Because Donald Trump moving in there with the military, where does this man get into this right to do that? He doesn't own the land. The American people don't own the land. And the American people sit back and they just allow this to happen. Let me just show you the quick, it's just sickening to look at this.
شمال غزة بيسخنون تم اعتقاله من مركز لواء الشمال في 10 قاعد زي ما انت بتسجد على بس تصلي لرب العالمين مغمى عينيك واستعمل الكهرباء في التعذيب زائد انه استعمل الكلاب في التعذيب.
זה למתחות ולדרוש את זה, אבל מעבר לכך, הנשיא טראמפ הסכים איתי לגמרי. אנחנו נעשה הכל להחזיר את כל החטופים, אבל חמאס לא יהיה שם. אנחנו נחסל את החמאס ונחזיר את חטופינו.
Oh my dog, Jim.
بلادي اليوم اعلن بلادي بلاد جديد في بعين الاسرى بعانوا بذلوهم بهنوهم بعينوهم
يعني لحظة الفرح بتطغى بشوفة الأهل والأحبة إني أكون بعد يعني ربع قرن من الزمن من الفرقة والغياب إني أنا رجعت لأهلي وبلدي.
الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله يا أحمد الحمد لله الحمد لله. السلام عليكم.
والله ظروف الغذاء كانت سيئة جدا، لا طعام لا شراب لا دواء، احنا كنا في مركز تعذيب 24 ساعة، قعدت 40 يوم كلبش من ايديا ومغمى، لا بروح حمام ولا بروح اشي، اكل عدم. انا خشيت السجن 100 كيلو طلعت 58 كيلو.
الاحتلال كل قهر كل زلونا في السنة هذه سنة ونص، زلونا قطعونا عن كل العالم، يعني انا من 7/10 لليوم ما بنعرفش عن برا.
The focus of so much terrorism. I think.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Prime Minister.
What we've been wishing, this is classic, right? This is exactly how I would word it. You're wishing the largest play that's been going on in the world, right? If there were an Oscar for the best theatrical performance by a country, Israel would win every year. It's a country based on theater. It's a lunatic state, completely insane, okay? God bless Norman Finkelstein, right? This guy gets it, right? And we can continue on with this because just to show you like the level of what's going on here right now, what Trump is doing, it's unbelievable, people. Listen what he says on Air Force One. He gets us all queued up with the pilot of the plane right on his Gulf of America.
We're flying right over it right now, so we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing, and almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, he did that well.
You can't fix stupid people, right? This guy is just beyond corrupt. Let's really look at what Trump's judgment is about, right? For those of you that aren't aware of the so-called ministry that he's created, the minister that he's got in there now, have a little look at this, okay? She is absolutely a piece of work.
To say no to President Trump would be saying no to God.
We command all satanic pregnancies to miscarry right now.
It is not found in Antifa, and it is not found in Black Lives Matter, all which are anti-Christ.
I declare that President Trump will overcome every strategy from hell and every strategy of the enemy.
And any tongue that rises against him will be condemned according to the word of God.
It's not okay to have an abortion. It's not okay to marry the same sex. And strike 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 until you have victory.
It is God that raises up a king. It is God that sets one down. And so when you fight against the plan of God, you're fighting against the hand of God. The Supreme Court justice says if we get two more, come on, if we get two more. And right now, I know right now, we are scaring the literal hell out of demonic spirits by me saying this right now.
Enough of that crap, right? Let's really look at who this woman is. For those of you that aren't aware, get a gander at this. She left her first husband, dumped the second one after cheating on him, then married a member of the rock band Journey, broke into the band's bank account, and embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars after committing fraud and running a Ponzi scheme, White House Faith Office. Right? There you go, people. All right? These people are the worst of the worst. Never, ever, ever forget that. You know, I would think, you know, like this whole Super Bowl crap that went on the weekend or whatever, I have no use for watching that stuff anymore. I used to enjoy a good game or whatever, but not anymore for what it is. But for those of you that didn't see this, right, all they can do, well, we'll just play it first here. So Fox News and all these other major networks, they blocked all that out, all the booing that was going on. But at the end of the day, you've got a guy here that's involved in genocide. That guy is responsible. He supported the slaughter of millions, thousands of people in Gaza, okay? And all the American people can do is sit there in the stand and go, boo, boo, right? It's one big shit show, right? Your country's being ripped apart. You've had millions of people that have died because of his warp speed, and all you give a fuck about is a stupid game with a football, okay? That's what I'm saying. You know what? I'll tell you, a man who I have the utmost respect for is Jordan Maxwell, and he said it. I've said this before on my streams. He said this 15 years ago before he died. He says he's given up. This is a man that put 60 years into exposing all these secret societies and massive knowledge he was bringing into the light, just to only say to everybody, there's so much that we just do not know, that we've been kept from us. We don't have a clue what's going on in this world and off this world. We really don't, okay? But when we do see this stuff that's going on, this is how we react. Nobody is held accountable, right? The American people, I don't know what's going to take for them to wake up, but something better take up pretty soon, because at the end of the day, things like, for example, that Trump should be focusing on is why don't you focus on the beef, okay? 85% of your beef is coming from outside of the United States. How does that work?
Over 85% of the grass-fed beef in, the American market is imported product, not raised in America. Isn't that nuts? In 20 years, we've gone from being a very early innovator to, just a mere meager portion of 15%.
Well, that's true, but it's not the worst part. The worst part is that imported beef is legally labeled product of the USA.
How's that?
If value is added in this country, it's a product of the USA.
What?
And we compete with it every day.
How did they add value?
Ooh, go ahead. No, you go. This is good.
If they grind it, slice it, cut it, package it, label it,
rebox it,
transport it. But the animal, make no mistake, the animal was born, raised, and slaughtered in Uruguay, Australia, New Zealand, or 20 other countries.
Lithuania, Croatia.
The United States imports beef from places like Australia, Canada, and much of Latin America. It then runs that beef through USDA inspection, and if it passes, sticks a label on it that reads product of the USA.
There you go, people, right? I'll tell you, Donald Trump, he's not a man, he's a maggot. But you want to see a real man? There's a guy I watched years ago, Dan Brazilian. And this guy, was a multi-millionaire. He always had lots of women around him, and he was always showcasing guns and beautiful big houses and stuff. And yeah, I looked at him or whatever, but then I thought, well, this guy is very materialistic. Well, you know what? Dan has really come a long way since then. He was one of the proponents that reached out and spoke out surrounding the Vegas shootings. He recognized something was incredibly wrong. For those of you who don't know, when the Vegas shootings, after they finished, the FBI was going to do this extensive report that they were going to release to everybody with all the ballistics to prove and showed everything that Patton or Paxton or whatever his name was, the guy in the hotel room that supposedly shot out of it, the window that wasn't broken when they actually breached the room, right? The SWAT team shows you the window's not broken, the window's not broken. Well, how did he shoot people? Interesting. For those of you who don't know, the entire report was one page from the FBI. How many people died there in Vegas? How many bullets were shot everywhere? And one page report. None of the bullets matched any of the ballistics of the people that were on the ground with the guns up in the hotel room, right? And it all gets swept under the rug, right? It's a field day for them, right? They just roll this stuff out. They put all the sports and stuff out there, entertainment, to confuse the people, and nobody has a clue what's going on. Well, Dan Brazilian, I absolutely love him. I'm just going to show you this first. A clip of him, which is absolutely true. America's under occupation. Israel has taken control of our government and our president. Well, it's not Israel. Israel, again, was created by the central bankers, right? It's the Zionist Jews. They're the ones that are in every single country. They've infested all of our governments worldwide, and that's why these service corporations are running amok. That's why the court systems are running amok. Well, have a listen to this, right? Guy who I can't stand is Piers Morgan out of the UK. He's an absolute another maggot, another tool for the system. But Dan destroys him here. Listen to this. This is why I take my hat off to Dan. This is a real man.
And what do you say to Jewish people who may watch this and be utterly horrified by what they're hearing?
They can be horrified. I mean, I was horrified to find that they mass murdered Christians. I was horrified to learn the things that they teach in the Talmud. I was horrified that they think that Jesus is burning in shit in hell. I was horrified to learn that they think it's okay to steal from Gentiles. I was horrified to hear that there's, two sets of justice. I was horrified to find out that they think it's okay to, gang rape Palestinian prisoners. I was horrified about all those things. I'm horrified that we're funding a genocide right now. So they can be horrified. When you have a religion that promotes supremacy, when you have a religion that says that you are better than other people, and when you have a religion that says it's okay to steal from other people as long as they're not Jewish, when you have a religion that says it's okay to rape people that aren't Jewish, when you have a religion that promotes these things and promotes supremacy, I think you're going to have problems. And you see that in Israel. Israel is a manifestation of that religion. And I think that religion is, it's terrible. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe in Jewish supremacy. I don't believe in supremacy at all. And right now, I think you have massive Jewish supremacy.
He's absolutely right. Okay, Dan's a great man. And that's what gets me. You see this. Let me play this short little clip here. Right, this is the massive gathering that happened after, I guess it was Philadelphia. The Eagles. I don't even know who was in the Super Bowl this year. Right, I guess that they won or whatever. Right. Look at the massive gathering.
That's insane.
All of that for a stupid football game. That's right. Your fellow man or woman are being massacred or murdered. You're having billions of dollars stolen from you every single day by these maggots that are in Washington. Your corruption is off the charts. There's no accountability, but let's all go in the streets after a football game. That's what I'm saying. Mankind is lost. It's the same in Canada with the hockey games as well. Okay? Never forget that. Because at the end of the day, if you really want to know the mettle of what Donald Trump is about, a great man is Jeffrey Sachs. And Jeffrey Sachs drills down on here from Julian Assange and to also, I'll let him play here so you can hear about it.
Do you think the new president will pardon Edward Snowden and Julian Assange?
No. Snowden is a remarkable person. I don't know Julian Assange. I do know Edward Snowden, and he is an absolutely remarkable person. Yes, he is a hero because he told us what the government was actually doing towards us. And of course, the security state, which really runs America, therefore immediately branded him as the worst villain. But we found out more from Snowden about the risk to our freedom than from just about anybody else.
And that's what I mean. Donald Trump, he saw what's going on all these times. He's about, protecting the American people, transparency, rooting out, draining the swamp. Well, Snowden is one of the first people he should have brought back in. And Julian Assange, he should have given that man clemency a long, long time ago. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You don't see them doing anything. They talk about, DOGE, D-O-G-E. That's the new Department of Government Efficacy or something that Elon Musk is overseeing, right? We found $59 million in U.S. aid. We're shutting it all down or whatever. Well, there is some good things that were happening within U.S. aid. It wasn't all bad. There was a great deal of theft and that's going on. But see how they focus the attention on that? That's what they want people to keep their attention on. They don't want people seeing what's going on in the back end as they're rolling out the digital ID and this entire system, this grid over all of us, or the death and destruction that's happening in Gaza, right? This is what you need to understand, okay? Donald Trump, he's committed treason I don't know how many times already, but at least we're starting to see people in the British Parliament. They're starting to come to the table and they're starting to address this because they recognize and see what is going on around the world and that we have to stop it, right? God bless the UK.
The Israelis are demolishing buildings in Jenin with people still inside them, and the President of the United States openly contemplating the forcible transfer of the Palestinians. First of all, are Arabs, and particularly Palestinians, entitled to the same protections under international law as everybody else? And secondly, do we still affirm our support for UN Security Council Resolution 3236, which guarantees the Palestinians safety, security and sovereignty in their own land? And if that's the case, when is she going to just stop just talking about it and actually take steps and action to enforce these matters in law?
Absolutely. And when we talk about in law, right, we know what that's about. But at the end of the day, this death and destruction is occurring. It's not just against the people, it's also the animals as well. This is a short little clip on the BBC. 1.8 million birds have been culled.
Avian flu spread sees 1.8 million farmed birds culled. in the UK. Almost 1.8 million farmed and captive birds have been culled in the past 3 months because of the spread of avian flu across the UK. The BBC has learned. Now we're learning it as well from the BBC. There have been 33, aren't that lucky number, outbreaks of the virus on farms. And on Wednesday the government said bird keepers in 5 more English counties would have to house flocks indoors from Sunday. I don't believe that they've culled 1.8 million farmed and captive birds in the last 3 months. I don't believe it. For a start, 33 outbreaks. The risk to humans remains low. Well, if that's the case, why are you culling 1.8 million farms?
Absolutely. Why are you culling them, right? When you can just simply cook and eat your eggs. No one's died from it, right? This is what I'm saying. This narrative, they've gotten it out the gate from many, many years ago, and they continue to go on. That's why Donald Trump is big on his whole executive orders that he's signing, right? This is why he's disobeying Congress. I mean, that's treason, what he's doing, right? Any president that does that for the Service Corporation, they should be arrested immediately, all right? And we're not seeing any of this stuff happening. It's not just the bird flu that's going around, or the lies of the bird flu. We've also got, for those of you that like pasta, well, you're not going to like this because it's very, very serious.
All right, guys, Barilla pasta. It's one of the most popular pastas in America today. It's also one of the most dangerous. If you want to know why, drop me a yes in the comments below. Like, share, save this video. I'm going to tell you why you got to stay away from this stuff. All right, so I'm going to show you how to read this so you know, because it's not just in Barilla. It's in most store-bought pastas. But you see this first ingredient right here? That is actually completely stripped of any nutrients whatsoever. They literally bleach the nutrients out of the pasta. It's unbelievable. But then you look down here and see where it says vitamins. Those are actually petrochemicals made from petroleum. Yes, it's literally pasta made from petroleum gas. And guys, the last reason why you never want to buy Barilla pasta or anything that has those ingredients is about 90% of the wheat crops in America today are sprayed with glyphosate. That's weed killer. And you can go to the scientific group ewg.org and find all that information there. But most of this stuff is all sprayed with Roundup weed killer.
What a world, eh? What a world. Everything that we think that we can trust when we go and buy our groceries or that, everything is poisoned. Everything has got elements in it that are affecting and compromising our health. It's absolutely sickening what's going on. It doesn't start there, it stopped there. It also goes with the Girl Guide cookies.
Girl Scout cookies were tested for heavy metals and glyphosate, and the results were extremely concerning. Out of the 13 different kinds of Girl Scout cookies that were tested, 100% of them tested positive for glyphosate, and 100% of them also had high levels of metals like aluminum, arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. As if the ingredients in Girl Scout cookies weren't already bad enough.
And I did love my Girl Guide cookies, not anymore, right? So we go through the whole food spectrum. It's also water. Look at this clip there of this man here, what he saw with 5 cups of water once he put it in a pan. Look what happened at the end of it.
5 cups of water, and this is the end result. This is what's in my water. Can anybody tell me what all that is, please? I'd really appreciate it. It was 5 cups of water boiled down, and it turned into this. This is crazy.
But we don't have to worry. You know, we've always got the drug companies there to keep us healthy from anything that we may eat that's not good for us. Well, here's a simple one for Pfizer, right? Pfizer's been in business since 1849 without having curing one single disease. Curing a patient equals losing a customer, right? I couldn't say that any better, people, okay? But the good thing to see is that we still have doctors that are still coming forward. That, remember, RFK is still committed to rolling out an mRNA vaccination program with the big pharmaceuticals. He is not your hero, okay? He's going to do some other stuff that looks like, oh, yes, we're making a difference in this area, but it's the big picture that you must understand what's going on. You don't see an accountability. Do you see anybody? I meant to say this as well. Donald Trump, right? The elections, the prior elections were all based on fraud. I don't see him arresting anybody. He's just allowing Joe Biden. Remember, Joe Biden, he was an illegitimate president, which means any of the orders, any of the executive orders, any of the pardons that this maggot gave, especially to all his family ahead of time, pre-head of it, whatever you want to call it, right? It's right there in your face, right? Donald Trump isn't going after anybody, and he should be. After what the American people saw with 4 years of Joe Biden, they should be all over billions of dollars left in Afghanistan. You're not seeing any accountability, right? You think US aid is the only thing that's going on? No, it's rampant right in Congress, right? All of these people, open up the books, follow the money. You'll find where everything goes, people. Just never ever forget that. Here's a great doctor on the mRNA vaccination. I love her. She's absolutely terrific. I'll just play a short clip of it here because you've seen a lot of this, but it's nice to see that people are still stepping up and into the light to make people aware of what's going on.
My name is Christine Drivdahl Smith, DRIVDAHL-SMITH. I am a family physician in Miles City. I have no conflict of interest. I am a volunteer board member of the Montana Medical Freedom Alliance. Gene-based vaccines, or mRNA vaccines, are the most destructive and lethal medical products that have ever been used in human history.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to support this bill banning gene-based vaccines so that we can halt continued harm, disability, and death of our citizens.
Now, you mean to tell me that RFK doesn't know about that? Oh, he better believe he knows about that. And yet, they're pushing the whole RMNA thing, right? mRNA. It doesn't stop there in Canada here. We're not somehow oblivious to it or outside of the trap of everything that's going on. Sherry Tenpenny, she's just shared with everybody what's going on in Toronto now with the school board. Have a listen to this. It's very sickening.
Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Sherry Tenpenny from Cleveland, Ohio. I know it's late, but this is an urgent message that just came into my inbox, and I felt it was really important to get this notification out to as many people as possible that tomorrow, Friday, February 7th, Toronto's public health system will be holding a vaccination catch-up clinic for grade 11 students only, those that are born in 2008. And I'm reading it right here off the notification. They need to meet specifications and requirements to avoid suspension from school. Beginning period 1, and every 15 minutes, we will be calling students who are not up to date with their vaccinations directly out of classrooms to attend a vaccine clinic. This obviously means their parents don't know about it. They're not there. They can't give informed consent. We don't even know what vaccines that these kids are getting. Are they getting duplicates of something else? Do they know to have their vaccine record with them at school tomorrow? This notification goes on to say, we appreciate your support and apologize for the interruption of class time as we work with the Toronto Public Health to ensure our 11th grade students' vaccinations are up to date to avoid suspension. This is a real travesty. If you have an 11th grade student, that would be somebody that's 16, 17. They're probably going to be giving them Gardasil, I would guess, and maybe an up-to-date tetanus shot or an up-to-date DPT vaccine because they have a DPT booster for teenagers. You need to take your kids out of school tomorrow. They've got a stomach ache, right? There's flu going around. They need to stay home, or maybe they've got a dental appointment. But please know that tomorrow, Friday, February 6th,
Love Sherry, but she's a little bit confused there. She's talking about, did they bring their vaccination schedule with their vaccine? It's all poison, Sherry, okay? That is an enormous trespass. Can you imagine that? She said there, grade 11 or whatever, 16 or 17 years of age. I guess things have changed since I went to school. I was in college when I was 17. Okay, I was in grade 11. I got the hell out of high school as quickly as I could. I was in college at 17. I was out by 19, right? Unbelievable. Anyways, like I say, this is what's going on in all our countries and all our words. At the end of the day, this is a great little article here, a little clip from a judge that has basically told everybody exactly what we've been sharing with everyone surrounding law. Okay? I therefore have to come to the conclusion that the current legal and political systems in use in Australia and in states' territories, this applies to every country around the world, not just Australia, has no basis in law. You're damn straight. The Australian government is like the Canadian government, the United States government, the French government, the UK government, on and on and on, is not the lawful government under the Crown. Remember, the Crown is a service corporation, that maggot. Prince King Charles, he thinks he is, and his maggot mother and all of them. Crown, and therefore all edicts so pronounced by that corporation, are contracts that may be accepted or rejected by citizens, people of the Crown. So there it is right there. It's in your face, okay? It's nice to see that some of these people have the balls to come forward and say what is actually true, but nothing that these people put pen to paper. It's like me walking out, and I'm now the head of the corporation called Canada, and I'm telling everybody, this is the law that I've just passed with my underlings or whatever, and you're going to abide by it, or I'm going to drag you into my crown courts, and I'm going to use my little maggots called bar members, right, crown attorneys, and these other little criminals, murderers, that wear the black robes, that have extortion, committing enormous wrong and harm worldwide for far too long now. I'll use them to intimidate, terrorize, and further steal and destroy everything that you have. This is what we are faced with. Okay? That's why none of these premiers in this country, they're all acting for service corporations, right? Nothing that they put pen to paper, but they've got to put the whole theater out there as if something is going on. Look at this bullshit that happened this week as well.
CTV News has learned that all 13 of Canada's premiers, who are currently all in Washington, will be going to the White House as a group later today as they continue to make their case to try and avert a trade war between Canada and the United States. There are a couple of unprecedented things here. First of all, we've never seen all 13 premiers go to Washington at the same time at once together as a group. That's number one. Number two, now a meeting for them at the White House. We don't know if President Trump will attend. Could be the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. A lot of unknowns here, but they will be going to the White House. We know the premiers in Washington, they've been meeting with anyone that they can in terms of U.S. lawmakers, lobbyists.
That's enough of that puke. U.S. lawmakers. No, that's people, okay, that are acting for service corporations that have been given a title. Legislators, right? And all these legislators, they get together and they write these laws and they pass them. They go through all this theater of the House, the Senate, all this stuff. And then once it gets all passed through all those levels of the service corporation called government, well, now it's law. No, it's not. Okay? That's what I mean. The truth is so simple and so powerful if people could only understand it. I want to drill down on something here quickly before I go to another update here in Canada here, what's going on. You know, Pierre Poilievre, the last few months or whatever, he's been going off about, you know, the big thing that's on the news now is the fentanyl. We've got this big fentanyl problem in Canada because, you know, it's coming across our borders and the United States are all upset. More theaters being rolled out. So what's their plan to deal with all of this horrific things that's happening into our country? Oh, they're going to put a new border security system in place, right? They're going to spend millions of dollars on border drones. They're going to upgrade all of their facilities or whatever. They're going to hire more people, right? That is a first step stage to go from the border to then go inland against the people, okay? And the big thing that's very disturbing about that is that Pierre Poilievre has said, I should have put the clip up there, I saw it the other night, he stated that he's going to use the Emergency Powers Act in order to implement all of these things to protect the Canadian people. See this bullshit? Trudeau went out and rolled it out. He had no right to use that emergency act. It's an act. It has no jurisdiction over we the people. And now Pierre Poilievre is falling right back in. He's going to use it now. See, this is what they do in our world, not just in Canada, in every government around the world. This is what these maggots do. And that's why only arresting all of them, bring them before the people, let that truth fly in that courthouse, and may they all be walked out and hung. That's what the world needs to see. That's why I say 2025 better be the year of the rope, or that rope's going around all our necks, people, okay? It's already tightening right now if you can't figure that out. Anyways, let's jump to some court stuff here. So this is a woman, Carrie. She's a God bless her. You know, she's lost and not understanding what's going on in the court system up here in Canada. But pay attention to what she's talking about here. Obviously, she was damaged because she's got the eye problem from the COVID thing. But she's got a court going on up in Canada here, and she's all happy about these maggot lawyers that she has. I'll pause it along the way here and just pay attention to the words that she uses. This is how we see how lost our fellow man and woman are.
Okay, a quick court update. Court went really well. I have a...
Whose court? Whose court went really well? She wasn't holding court. She was in a private society's court, right? Operating under a crown system, a service corporation.
Really kick-ass legal team, Eva Chipiak and Jeffrey Rath. They're fighting really hard for the right for me to have my case heard.
Stop. Full stop. They're fighting for your right, okay? These people aren't fighting for your right. They're representing you as this legal fiction, and they're bound by that maggot that wears that black robe. Never forget that. This is the theater that goes on. God knows how much money that this woman has raised or paid to these maggot lawyers, right? But this is the shit show that's going on. This woman should be able to move her claim in court immediately, right? To seek the administration of justice.
Both the provincial and the federal governments want to strike it down and it not go any further than this.
Okay, both the provincial governments and federal governments. Who's that man or woman called the provincial government again and the federal government? Oh, you mean people that are acting for the Service Corporation? Well, who are these people that don't want you to have your right to access a public courthouse to seek the administration of justice? See how simple that is? That's what I'm saying, people. It's going to get real ugly this year as long as this ignorance remains.
But I believe we made some headway the other day in court. The judge seems like a very reasonable woman.
She's a maggot. Never forget that. Every single one of these people that wear the black robes are the most corrupt, repugnant people in our society. And all of them are going to, one day, they're going to get brought into that courthouse. And they are going to be shown by a jury of our peers the trespass that they've been causing is unacceptable, and they're all going to be held accountable. This woman's really sweet and nice, but unfortunately she's lost. I'm just going to end it right there because, you know, there's only so much of this stuff that I can stomach with people that don't understand the difference between legal and lawful. Let's just talk about a little bit about the law thing that's going on here, right? This is Halton Regional Police. This is where I live, right? They go and arrest a guy. They get him for millions of dollars. I'll let it play here, but this guy gets let out on bail, all right? Never forget that. And then you get, again, someone like Robert Young. He's getting locked up for six years. He's caused no wrong or harm against anybody. Have a little listen to this. Conditional release. Listen to this.
A man who was at the center of the biggest Shoppers Drug Mart takedown ever was handed a conditional sentence, and they will not serve actual jail time. Instead, they're going to get house arrest for the first 6 months and a curfew for the following 6 months. He pleaded guilty to trafficking stolen property after Halton nailed him, and he was the center of a large organization that had been stealing from 148 locations across Ontario. This was over $1 million worth of merchandise that was stolen. And instead of doing any sort of jail time, the judge instead handed him an 18-month conditional sentence, which included house arrest for the first 6 months and a curfew for the following 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. That's their just us system, okay? It's got nothing to do with justice. That guy should be forced to pay back every single dime that he stole, okay? That's how it should happen. Hard labor, I really don't give a rat's ass. That's what needs to happen with them. Because I want you to see something else that's going on with Halton. Where did I put it here? Right? I got no love for Halton Police. Trust me, okay? Are there good people that work in it? Yeah, there are, but they're all ignorant. Just like every other police force. The executive of Halton Regional Police, right? Corrupt to the core. They're the ones that have attacked Pam Diol. They were involved in stealing her children, her property, and terrorizing her, right? Stephen Tanner's the chief of police there. He's a maggot of epic proportions. But let me just show you this here, just to show you the crap that goes on here and why there's no accountability, okay? In Halton Regional Police, they had over 100 complaints filed against Halton Police in 2024. Most were dismissed. Here's what happened with the rest, right? What a shit show, right? That's what I'm saying, believe me. Members of the public filed a total of 122 complaints about Halton Police in 2024. That is sickening. It's never been like that before because people are recognizing the massive corruption that these people are involved in, right? The Police Service's semi-annual complaint statistical report was presented to the Halton Police Board during its meeting on January the 30th. The report noted that a total of 122 complaints of the Halton Police were filed with Law Enforcement Complaint Agency, LECA. This is the fox guarding the henhouse, right? An independent civilian oversight agency. They have no muscle behind them whatsoever to do damn thing against them. Because if they do, they've got to turn it over to the legal system to hold anybody accountable. And then that whole shit show rolls out, right? Never forget that. The previous year saw 119 complaints filed with 100 complainants were filed. You know, it just goes on and on and on. But it just goes to show you, it says here, you know, the report said it was because the complaints were either made too late or were considered frivolous, vexation. Where have we heard that before from the bar members, right? They like to play that all the time. Anybody that's going to try and drag them into court, well, this is a frivolous, vexatious claim that's before this court and it needs to be tossed out. And they always toss it out because it's not moving under the rules of civil procedure, their own little private societies. Modus operandi. Never, ever, ever forget that. You know, I wish to God that we could have something like this. I'm going to be wrapping this up here in a couple of seconds. I wish to God that we could have this. You know, this is the Serbia student movement that's absolutely huge. Imagine if we had this many people that understand the truths that we understand here this evening, that I've been sharing with everybody, and more importantly, the solution. And you get all these people, and you start kicking in doors, and you start bringing people into the public courthouses, and we let those courthouses run 24/7, and we round everybody up that's involved in us. But that's why ignorance remains the barrier here. I don't know how to get these simple truths into the hearts and minds of my fellow man or woman worldwide. But have a little look at this, right? Because this is inspiring. And what do we get in Canada here, right? Well, that's what's coming up in the near future. In March, I think it is, the convoy, Tamara Lynch and Chris Barber, right? Their verdicts are going to come out whether they're guilty or not. They haven't caused it. It's the same shit show again, right? They're going to make an example of them. They're going to see to them that they're locked up for several years, right? Because they cannot eat crow now. Not that they've pushed this all along. And then what happens? You don't see any bar members standing up, right? Screaming at the top of their lungs of this massive injustice that's occurring in this world, right? None of them can figure out that COVID-19 was never isolated, never purified. Everything that Justin Trudeau and all these maggots underneath him did was a trespass. It was treason against we the people. And they are liable for genocide. It's that simple, right? It is that simple. So I'll leave it on a kind of a funny note here. I love my base. My base is really funny. You guys, some of the stuff you sent me, it's not all bullshit I got to deal with all the time, but some of it's pretty funny. A lot of people know I'm a single guy. You know, I don't have time for a relationship, unfortunately, which maybe next lifetime I'll get that. But right now, the fight's too important right now. But anyway, someone sent me this, and I thought it was kind of funny. If you're sad about being alone on Valentine's Day, just remember, nobody loves you. You're on the other days of the year either. Oh, I love it. I can take a good joke like everybody else. Don't kid yourself, okay? And I appreciated that. So thank you very much, people. Like I said, I get a lot of love from all of you. And again, I cannot thank those of you that do help support me. I truly appreciate it. We're doing everything we can, the best we can every single week here, but we are in the fight for mankind right now, the fight for our lives. And unfortunately, the sheep that are out there, they are being bombarded every single week, every single month. There's something big that's happening somewhere around the world to take their attention off, and then they get so far away from what's actually really been going on, right? They're confused and they're lost. We must all stand shoulder to shoulder and understand that COVID-19 was never isolated, purified. There are millions of people around the world that have been murdered because of that lie. And because of that, they've rolled in further draconian measures. There's been enormous wealth that's been stolen from the people. Massive treason, death, and genocide has and is and continues to occur. And we've got to find a way to right out and fight this evil once and for all. I love you with all my heart. Thank you very much for being with me here this evening. Again, every Wednesday night I'm here, or every Thursday night I'm here at 8 p.m. The link that you have for tonight, please just download it. You can also go to my website, right on my website there to register. Just click on it. If you don't get the link or a notification, you just grab the link right there and away you go. Okay? I'm not going away. I'm going to do everything I can as best as I can, but the clock is ticking here, so we have to find a way to build these numbers and get the truth out there. But it's anyways, it's not looking good. I love you with all my heart. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. God bless. I'll see everybody here again next weekend, next Thursday at 8 p.m.
And I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You've come to fight as free men. And free men you are. What will you do with that freedom? Will you fight? Fight against that? No! We will run! And we will live. Die. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom! Fine speech. Now what do we do?
Just be yourselves.
Where are you going?
I'm going to pick a fight.
Well, we didn't get dressed up for nothing.